history to Sarah Jung.
The night John Henry was born, it was dark and cloudy. Lightning lit up the night sky. John Henry's birth was a big event. He had thick arms, white shoulders, and strong muscles. One day, the boy picked up a small piece of steel and a hammer. He looked at the two objects and said, "A hammer will be the death of me." The story of John Henry teaches us that we should follow our destiny. John Henry knew that his destiny was going to be that he would die with a hammer in his hand. He lived to complete his destiny and died showing that he was a hero. I hope this story leads you to think of your own destinies and what you need to do to achieve them. John Henry, adopted by George Grow. By the time John Henry was a young man, he was one of the best steel drivers in the country. He worked so fast that his hammer moved like lightning. John Henry went to work as a steel driver for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad, or C&O. The workers were told they had to force their drills through a mountain. This meant creating a tunnel more than 1.5 miles long. The project lasted 3 years. Pay was low and the work difficult. John Henry was the strongest and fastest man involved in the project. He was able to cut a path of 10 to 20 feet a day. That July was the hottest month ever in West Virginia. Many workers became tired and weak in the heat. John Henry worked day and night, rarely stopping to eat. The men thanked him for his help. He just smiled and said, "A man ain't nothing but a man. He has just got to do his best." One day, a salesman came to the work area with a new drilling machine powered by steam. The railroad company planned to buy the machine. The supervisor of the workers said, "I have the best steel driver in the country. His name is John Henry, and he can beat more than 20 men working together." The salesman said the company could have the machine without cost if John Henry was faster. The supervisor called to John Henry, "This man does not believe that you can drill faster. How about a race?" John Henry looked at the machine and saw images of the future. He saw his friends and family unemployed and standing by a road asking for food. He told the supervisor he would never let the machine take his job. However, John Henry's wife, Polly Ann, was not happy. "Competing against the machine will be the death of you. If anything happens to you, you will never smile again." John Henry lifted his son to the air and said, "A man ain't nothing but a man always has to do his best. Tomorrow I will take my hammer and go faster than any machine." On the day of the big event, many people came to Big Bend Mountain to watch. The competition began. John Henry kissed his hammer and started working. The steam powered drill worked faster than he did. They started working with a hammer in each hand. It worked faster and faster. Polly Ann and her son cheered when the machine broke them. But it kept working faster and faster. He dug deep into the darkness. Hitting the steel so hard that his body began to fail him. He became weak and his heart burst. John Henry fell to the ground. There was a terrible silence. John Henry's blood spilled over the ground. He still held one of the hammers. "I beat them," Polly cried out. "Don't go, John Henry." He took his last breath. Friends carried his body from the mountain. As they worked, some sang about John Henry.